morning to ya. Let's get the show on the road here. Got another good show. Hope you enjoyed that great opening. We decided to go with a canned opening, and hope you enjoyed that. So let's we're gonna start the show with a video, a little different video today. We saw this in the news, and there's a guy in Chicago that's been taking cold plunges every day for a year, 2 years. During the summer, he had hundreds of people out there with him, and they had to, I guess technically it's illegal to be jumping in the lake right there, and he had hundreds of people during the summer come out, and they had to get the police to shoo people away, but this guy still comes out every day and jumps in the lake, no matter what the temperature is, whether it's 10 degrees, 20 below, whatever. So they did a little segment on him, so let's watch this.
As the sun rises over frigid Chicago, Dan O'Connor chips ice from ladders along Lake Michigan so that he can seemingly defy all common sense and do this. Stunning from every angle.
This guy's crazy.
The painfully Arctic plunge into today's 35-degree water, especially jaw-dropping, knowing the 56-year-old beverage salesman.
I saw some video on Instagram of him where it was so cold he has to set up his cameras, and he wasn't in the full frame because he can't get some days it's so cold he can't get a cameraman to go out there with him or a buddy.
And it dives daily and has since 2020.
There were the 3 Ps that were happening, and that was the pandemic, protests were going on, and politics. And I came down here hungover, and I jumped in. It was like a new awakening.
You did hungover.
Yeah.
That reprieve from chaos became a year-round addiction.
I'll be real, NBC's paying me to stand here right now, and I'm in a sleeping bag coat. You couldn't pay me enough to dive in there. What is the drive for you?
Like I said, just that endorphin rush, it's attacking the day.
His drive, breaking the ice with fans on social media. The first anniversary of his first jump drew hundreds.
It's definitely been 100%, a mental health uptick for me.
So much so, the husband and father of 3, now dubbed the Great Lake Jumper, today, alongside a friend for safety, jumped twice.
It brightens the day every day, and that's why I keep doing it.
Maggie Vesta, NBC News, Chicago.
Thanks for watching. Stay out.
So there you go. There are crazy people in the world, and there's proof of it. We had a video of Cat of Trust on our show a couple days ago, and it appears that she and a few other people in the black community are suing Chicago over the migrant crisis. So let's play this Fox News or Fox Business video.
How to swiftly emerge from a rapid...
That kind of gives a good overview of what people in Chicago and the South and West Side neighborhoods are thinking, how they're feeling, and what's their next step. At one point I haven't heard lately, but about a month ago, there was talk that Donald Trump may be coming to Chicago to hold a rally in the city of Chicago. A couple of years ago, I think he tried to, and he was unable to find a location to hold it. So let's see. He's never had a rally in the city of Chicago proper. He's had some out in Galesburg and some of the rural areas. He's had them in Wisconsin, Milwaukee area, but never in the city of Chicago. So that you could see that happen this year, folks. You could see that happen. So let's watch this video. It gives a good overview of how the minorities are feeling in Chicago.
I think I'm frustrated with all of it, all the way down from the president. I'll tell you why. Because the president could have stopped it. This should not be on the backs of the people here and draining our resources.
That's just one of the powerful voices, one black resident in Chicago, who's had enough of Joe Biden's migrant crisis. And she's not alone. Another Chicagoan is telling the Free Press, quote, this is Kata Trust, quote, there's a humanitarian crisis in the black community, but every time we have a need in our community, we're told that there are no funds. There's no money for us.
Now they're suing to stop a local field house from becoming a shelter for illegal migrants. Here now the author of the article, the Free Press staff writer, Olivia Reingold. Olivia, good to see you. Thanks for being with us. So tell us more about what you learned on this issue, on the migrants in Chicago as part of your story.
Well, first, a positive update, which is the city of Chicago. I asked them for comment. They said they have officially backed off of their plans to convert this field house into a migrant shelter. But what did I learn on this story? I learned that these are all people, these are all lifelong Democrats. I spoke to a former Obama intern, someone who grew up canvassing for the NAACP, pro-reparations voters, and these are people who feel
And the minorities of Chicago are really pissed off. Really, really pissed off.
completely betrayed by the Democratic Party and would like to be Democrats, but just cannot get behind what they stand for these days, especially on immigration.
I want to fully recognize that we are all profoundly pale people. And we're talking about this issue that is impacting the black community in Chicago, but it impacts everyone in this
Oh, it's impacting everybody. It's not just for the city anymore, folks.
nation. And I think that that's the point of your article. In New Hampshire, the voter analysis has come out just like in Iowa.
They're coming to a door near you.
Number one issue is immigration. It is a wide open border. But do they understand that in order to reverse this devastating policy that is at everyone's doorstep, they have to vote differently in these national elections? This is not about Brandon Johnson. This is about Joe Biden and all of his cronies.
I am not quite sure that everyone gets that quite yet. I think that there are two camps. I think that there are people, everyone is definitely certain that they are not going to vote for the same Democratic leaders again locally. But nationally, probably only about half of people say, I'm going to sit the presidential election out. And I did even speak to a few people who, in a matter...
That's wrong, folks. You got to vote. You got to make your vote count. You need to understand who's doing this to us. It's our local leaders, but also national leaders that are really the cause of this problem.
of months went from, full-blown Democrats to now Trump voters.
I think it's fascinating that they say, you always tell us when we need something, we need some help, that there's never any money, but all of a sudden, all of this money is flowing to migrants and how far they'll go for non-citizens.
Funny how that happens.
But when your own people are struggling, there's no cash.
That's exactly right. I looked into the placement of these shelters throughout Chicago, and they actually do seem to be somewhat evenly distributed, but in black communities, they say it stings so much more because they're seeing schools that were shuttered for them, health clinics that were shuttered for them, miraculously reopened, and
Funny how that happens, yeah.
showers that haven't run in years are being repaired overnight. All of these improvements are being made for migrants and not, their own citizens.
We're angry for them, and we're angry for the whole nation. Olivia, thank you so much. Olivia Reingold.
Yeah, just as a reminder, there's 66,000. Before the migrants came, there was 66,000 American homeless people, homeless vets, families that were homeless, 66,000. And there was really no, effort to get them off the street. No, 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 no. Okay, so yesterday I traveled the Union Pacific metro tracks again quite a bit. No sign of migrant buses, no sign of migrants. I actually stopped at 2 metro stations in Glenview downtown, and North Glenview. So you'll be able to see those videos shortly in a video as I try to do some more migrant hunting. But we did not come up with any migrants. We saw a nice, cool looking Porsche, but no migrants. So I'll put a video out there in the next couple of days. You might even see some shorts. So that's 2 videos for you today. I've got one more to show you. Good summary from our favorite reporter, Casey Cronus.
Important healthcare announcement.
So let's get this one all queued up and we'll play it. It gives a good summary of where we're at in Chicago with the migrant crisis. So here we go.
Has been made available for municipalities that help in the handling of asylum seekers that are being bused to Illinois from Texas. The funds are part of an Illinois Department of Human Services program. Meanwhile, Chicago officials say they are positive.
So there, JB's going to offer he's got $17 million to dangle carrots in front of some of these other suburbs, which haven't been named yet, that are going to help Brandon and take in some migrants, illegals.
Efforts
Border
to
buddies.
open additional migrant shelters. Casey Cronus is live in Studio 32 with more details. Casey?
Hi, Tia. City officials tell us they are prioritizing resettlement services as a way to create more beds in the 28 shelters.
So they're working on getting people through the system and into low-income housing, which there's always been a shortage of in Chicago. And all of a sudden we got loads of low-income housing, it appears.
That already exist. A spokesperson with the mayor's office says this comes in an effort to stay within the constraints of its new arrivals budget.
Yeah,
they also say they're
Brandon running low on funds, and Joe Bergen is not going to send any, so he's just like you and I, folks. He's got to watch his spending, and his credit cards are loaded to the max.
Focus right now is placing families and migrants with disabilities into shelter. Just yesterday, Governor Pritzker announced $17 million in additional funding. Most of it will be made available to suburbs that agreed to house migrants. $4 million will support 13 Illinois welcome centers, and $2 million will go to...
Not sure what we need to do with 13 welcome centers. That just seems kind of fishy to me. Sounds like the governor's got a plan to push this all throughout the state. Just my gut feeling.
Resettlement services. Meanwhile, a group of Republican lawmakers that make up the Illinois Freedom Caucus visited the border in Eagle Pass, Texas earlier this month and shared what they saw in a news conference this morning.
In 1 week last summer, 57 bodies were found on this farm. The garbage, the clothes, the human biological matter, and other debris piled and scattered all over the border area is also an attack on the private property of all these landowners. The migrants know about our weak immigration policies, even if this means crossing dangerously, and many of them are dying. Tell me, Governor Pritzker, tell me, President Joe Biden, how is this humane?
Today marks the 4th consecutive day that city officials aren't expecting any buses at its landing zone. To date, Chicago has welcomed nearly 35,000 migrants from the southern border. Tia?
All right.
So there you go there. I also have, here's a guy, JLR Investigates, this channel here. If you want to see what's going on in the border, on the border, around the border, check out this guy's channel. He's got loads of border. He's been down at the border creating raw footage. It's pretty provoking stuff. Shows you a little bit of everything going on at the border. and it'll change your viewpoint of what's going on in our great nation, and definitely show you that our border is open and anyone is welcome to come in, and it's not a good situation. It's not a good situation. Check him out, and then also our buddy Adam. You can check out his channel. He's a reporter that we've been featuring on our reports here on a ongoing basis. Right here, Adam Klepp of K-Gun in Tucson. He's got a great channel. He's got some videos as he's working across the nation. I think he's headed towards New York City to do some reports. But he's got some great videos here. He was in Chicago about a week ago. And does great work. So check out Adam Klepp and JLR Investigates. So that's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed the opening. I'm going to play the opening again as we go to the outro here, and I hope you enjoy that. And nothing better than the Star Spangled Banner to get your day going, folks. Okay, folks, and as we always end every show, God bless Donald Trump and the United States.